All right, folks, welcome back. Let us get one thing straight right out of the gate. The old school mentality that the 22LR is just a kit gun or a squirrel round is officially dead and buried here in 2026. I have spent enough time on the line and in the dirt to see the industry shift, and manufacturers are finally treating rimfire with the professional respect it deserves. We are seeing engineering that matches centerfire duty guns, making these platforms as reliable as a hammer if you know how to run them. Whether you are managing hand strength issues, looking to put 10,000 rounds through a trainer without going broke, or you need a deep concealment setup that actually cycles every time you press the trigger, the 22LR has become a sophisticated defensive choice. Today, I am breaking down the top 12 rimfire carry options currently dominating the market. We are not just reading off a spec sheet here, I am talking about real-world trigger time, parts wear after high-volume sessions, and how these frames handle the hottest defensive loads like Federal Punch. I have spent the last 6 months running these through various high-stress drills in the mud and the heat to see which ones actually hold up when the carbon starts caking on the breech face. Grab your ear pro, check your backstop, and let us into the hardware. Number 12. Kel-Tec P17. Starting the list at number 12 is a gun that defies its budget-friendly price point, the Kel-Tec P17. In the landscape of 2026, this pistol has earned its stripes as a lightweight, high-capacity underdog that just refuses to quit. Weighing in at less than 14 ounces, fully loaded, it is a featherweight contender that packs 16 plus 1 rounds into a profile that is barely longer than a standard smartphone. The engineering here is pure Kel-Tec simplicity. It uses a multi-piece clamshell design that keeps costs down while maintaining a surprisingly rigid frame. On the range, the trigger is the real standout. It is a 3-pound pull with a very short reset that allows you to dump a magazine with incredible speed and accuracy. The barrel is threaded out of the box, which is a massive plus if you want to run a compensator to keep that muzzle flat during rapid-fire strings. I have found that the fiber optic front sight is exceptionally bright even in low light conditions, making it easier to track the front post through the recoil impulse. One technical detail I have noticed is that the magazines are incredibly easy to load thanks to the side tabs, and they feed very reliably as long as you are using high velocity rounds like CCI mini mags. The safety is ambidextrous and clicks into place with a positive tactile response, ensuring you know exactly what state the weapon is in without looking. If you are looking for a high-capacity rimfire that you can literally carry in a pair of gym shorts without feeling the weight, the P17 is a workhorse that punches way above its weight class. I recommend a light coating of synthetic grease on the slide rails to keep the action smooth, as the polymer-on-metal contact points benefit from that extra lubrication during high-volume sessions. Number 11. SIG P322. Moving into the number 11 spot is a gun that changed the capacity game for rimfire semi-autos, the SIG P322. This pistol was designed from the ground up to offer the same features as SIG's centerfire duty guns, and it shows in every aspect of its construction. You are looking at a 20+1 capacity, which gives you more rounds on tap than almost any other concealed carry pistol on the market. The P322 features a completely enclosed internal hammer system, which helps keep dirt and debris out of the firing mechanism, a huge plus if you are carrying this in an outer waistband holster in the field. One of the best technical features is the modular trigger shoe. You can swap between a flat face and a curved face, depending on your personal preference. The Optics Ready Slide is a game changer for 2026, allowing you to mount a Romeo Zero or similar micro red dot directly to the frame without an adapter plate. On the range, the balance is superb, and the recoil is virtually non-existent, allowing for surgical precision at 15 yards. I have run several thousand rounds through my test unit, and the stainless steel barrel has shown zero signs of accuracy degradation. The integrated magwell makes for lightning-fast reloads, which is something you rarely see on a rimfire platform. I have found that the gun runs best with a light oil on the recoil spring assembly to ensure that the slide velocity remains consistent when the gun gets fouled with carbon. If you want the most modern, feature-packed rimfire on the market that feels like a full-size combat pistol, the SIG P322 is a dominant choice for any serious shooter. Number 10. Ruger SR22. For years, the biggest knock against choosing a 22LR for anything serious was the fear of a jam-o-matic experience. However, as we move through 2026, the SR22 stands as a testament to how far rimfire engineering has come. While many small-frame semi-autos struggle with the lower pressures of the 22LR, Ruger solved this by utilizing an aerospace-grade aluminum slide that is incredibly lightweight. I have felt the recoil impulse on this, and it is lightning fast because that slide has so little mass to move. This ensures the action cycles with authority whether you are burning through cheap bulk-pack lead or running high-performance defensive rounds like Federal Punch. What makes this a smart carry choice for this year is its sheer versatility. The SR22 features a double-action to single-action trigger system with an external hammer, giving you that deliberate, safe first pull followed by a crisp, rapid follow-up shot that breaks around 4 to 5 pounds. It is one of the most user-friendly platforms I have put in a holster. It comes with interchangeable rubber grips, making it a perfect fit for shooters with smaller hands or those dealing with reduced grip strength. Beyond ergonomics, you are getting a 10+1 capacity in a package that weighs just over 17 ounces. It includes a manual safety and a decocker, providing a level of comfort for those who might be nervous about carrying a chambered round in a pocket or appendix holster. On the range, the adjustable 3-dot sights allow for far better precision than your typical point-and-shoot mouse gun. If you want a platform that bridges the gap between a rugged range trainer and a dependable deep concealment tool, this Ruger is the baseline. Maintenance is straightforward too. The field strip does not require tools, and the stainless steel barrel liner holds up to thousands of rounds of high-velocity ammunition without showing significant throat erosion. I have found that as long as you keep the carbon off the feed ramp every 500 rounds, this gun will run through an entire brick of CCI mini-mags without a single hiccup. Number 9. North American Arms Black Widow. Now, if we are looking at the ultimate get-off-me gun, we have to talk about the North American Arms Black Widow. I know what some of you are thinking, it is just a mini revolver, but the Black Widow is a completely different beast compared to those tiny mouse guns you see in the display cases. It features a beefed-up frame and a 2-inch heavy vent rib barrel that actually gives the 22LR enough runway to pick up some serious velocity. In 2026, where deep concealment is the name of the game, this stainless steel 5-shot cylinder provides a level of always-on-use security that almost no other firearm can match. The ergonomics on the Black Widow are surprisingly manageable thanks to the oversized rubber grips that let you get a full, solid purchase with 2 fingers, which is critical for controlling that snap and ensuring your follow-up shots are on target. Unlike the smaller models, this one comes with actual usable sights, usually a high-visibility marble arms setup, so you can actually aim this thing at 7 yards instead of just pointing and praying. One technical detail I love is the safety notches on the cylinder, allowing you to carry all 5 rounds safely with the hammer down between chambers. It is built like a tank, has 0 reciprocating parts to jam, and in a defensive scenario, its simplicity is its greatest strength. If you are wearing gym shorts or a suit, this thing disappears, but it is ready to bark when the chips are down. I have run this through several deep concealment drills, and the draw from a pocket holster is snag-free thanks to the rounded profile of the hammer spur. It is a single-action system, so you have to cock the hammer for every shot, but that hammer pull is smooth and the break is glass clean. For a backup gun or a deep cover primary, the Black Widow offers a level of mechanical reliability that semi-autos just cannot touch in this size class. Number 8. Ruger LCP-2 Light Rack. Moving up the list, we have the gun that essentially rewrote the rulebook for pocket semi-autos, the Ruger LCP-2 Light Rack. Ruger took their incredibly popular LCP frame and re-engineered the entire internal geometry to make it the most user-friendly rimfire on the market. The Light Rack system is the star of the show here. It uses a specialized blowback operation with a significantly lighter recoil spring and integrated cocking ears at the rear of the slide. This means if you have any issues with hand strength or arthritis, you can cycle this action with just 2 fingers, no more struggling with stiff slides or failing to go into battery. But do not think this is just a weak hands gun. It packs 10 rounds in the magazine plus 1 in the chamber, giving you 11 shots in a package that weighs only 11 ounces. That is a massive firepower advantage over a traditional pocket revolver. On the range, the low bore axis means the recoil is more of a gentle push than a flip, allowing for incredibly fast follow-up shots. I have found that as long as you feed it high-quality, copper-plated rounds like CCI Mini-Mags or Federal Punch, this little guy runs like a sewing machine. It even features a last-round bolt hold-open, which is a rarity in guns this small. The trigger is a short, crisp, single-action pull with a tactile reset that I can feel even through gloves. For $300, you are getting a deep concealment specialist that is as easy to shoot as it is to carry. The textured grip frame provides enough traction to keep the gun from shifting during rapid fire, and the integrated sights are low profile enough to prevent snagging on the draw while still providing a clear sight picture. I recommend keeping the magazines clean, as the follower is precision molded to ensure the rim of the 22LR does not catch on the round below it. Number 7. Glock 44. Next on the bench, we have the rimfire that everyone loves to debate, the Glock 44. Now, in 2026, this is not just a trainer, it is a legitimate contender for those who want the world-renowned Glock ergonomics without the 9mm snap. What makes the 44 unique is its hybrid steel and polymer slide. Glock had to engineer this specifically because a full steel slide would be far too heavy for the low-pressure 22LR cartridge to cycle reliably. By using this lightweight hybrid design, they have ensured that the slide velocity remains high enough to strip, chamber, and extract rounds even when the gun starts getting dirty after a long day at the range. The beauty of the Glock 44 is that it shares the exact same dimensions as the Glock 19, the most popular carry gun in history. This means your muscle memory for your draw stroke, your grip angle, and your holster compatibility remains identical. You are getting a 10+1 capacity in a package that weighs virtually nothing less than 16 ounces fully loaded. On the range, you will notice the marksmanship-style barrel provides surprising accuracy. I am talking 2-inch groups at 15 yards all day long. One technical tip for 2026, because rimfire is inherently dirty, I recommend a quick wipe of the breech face every 200 rounds to keep that extractor claw biting hard. If you already carry a Glock 19 or 17, adding the 44 to your rotation is a no-brainer for both low-cost training and low-recoil defense. The trigger pull is consistent with the Gen 5 Glocks, featuring that familiar wall and reset that allows for easy transitions between calibers. It is a rugged, duty-sized rimfire that handles the abuse of the range and the rigors of daily carry with the same stoic reliability you expect from the brand. Number 6. Walther P22 QD. Sliding into the number 6 spot is a masterpiece of German ergonomics, the Walther P22 QD. The QD stands for Quick Defense, and Walther has spent years refining this platform to overcome the reliability issues that plagued early rimfire semi-autos. The first thing you will feel when you pick this up is that legendary Walther grip. It is arguably the most comfortable micro pistol on this list, featuring cross-directional surfacing that literally sticks to your hand without being abrasive. Mechanically, the P22 QD uses an external hammer and a double-action to single-action trigger system. This gives you a heavy, intentional first pull for safety, followed by a crisp, light 3 8-pound single-action break for your follow-up shots. This is a massive advantage in a high-stress scenario where you want that extra layer of trigger weight on the draw. The barrel is a 3/4-inch threaded design, which is fantastic because it allows the 22LR to reach a higher pressure curve, ensuring better expansion with modern hollow points like the Federal Punch. Walther also upgraded the internal safety and the decocker, making it one of the safest rimfires to carry one in the pipe. It is a sophisticated, reliable, and incredibly flat shooting pistol that bridges the gap between a target gun and a dedicated defensive tool. I have put this gun through the ringer, and the slide-to-frame fit remains tight even after thousands of cycles. The captive recoil spring makes reassembly a breeze, and the magazine disconnect safety is a feature some shooters appreciate for added security. If you value ergonomics and a high-quality trigger feel, the Walther is hard to beat. Number 5. Beretta 21, a Bobcat. At number 5, we are talking about a true legend that has seen a massive resurgence in 2026, the Beretta 21, a Bobcat. This is the ultimate no-excuses carry gun because of one genius piece of Italian engineering, the tip-up barrel. For shooters who find racking a slide nearly impossible due to injury or age, this is a lifesaver. You simply flick a lever, the barrel pops up, and you drop a round directly into the chamber. No wrestling with heavy recoil springs, no pinched fingers, just pure mechanical efficiency. But do not think for a second that this is just a senior citizen gun. The Bobcat is built with an aluminum alloy frame and a forged steel slide that gives it a rugged, heirloom feel that polymer guns just cannot replicate. In 2026, the newer Ghost and Kale variants feature threaded barrels, which I have found to be a game changer on the range. Adding a small compensator or a can actually adds enough back pressure to make the blowback action cycle even more reliably with a wider variety of ammunition. It is a double action to single action system, meaning your first shot is a long, safe pull, while the rest are crisp and fast. One technical secret with the Bobcat: since it does not have an extractor, it relies purely on gas pressure to blow the casing out. You need to keep that chamber polished and clean. Feed it high-velocity rounds like CCI Stinger, and this pocket-size icon will bark every time you need it to. I've carried one of these as a deep cover backup for years, and its ability to function without a slide rack makes it unique in the tactical landscape. Number 4. Taurus TX-22 Compact. Cracking the number 4 spot is the gun that completely changed the reputation of its manufacturer, the Taurus TX-22 Compact. If you would have told me 10 years ago that a Taurus rimfire would be a top-tier defensive recommendation, I would have called you crazy, but the TX series has proven itself through tens of thousands of rounds in the hands of shooters everywhere. This compact version takes the world-class performance trigger from the full-size model and packs it into a subcompact frame that is optics-ready right out of the box. We are talking about a 13+1 capacity in a pistol that weighs only 16.5 ounces. In the world of 2026, being able to mount a micro red dot like a Hollow Sun or a Shield RMSC on a 22 LR is a massive tactical advantage. It allows for faster target acquisition and better accuracy for those whose eyesight might be fading. The slide is made of high-grade aluminum with front and rear serrations, and the recoil impulse is almost non-existent thanks to the internal striker-fired geometry. One thing I have noticed after heavy testing is how well the magazine feed lips are designed. They prevent rim lock, which is the #1 cause of jams in other rimfire semi-autos. For around $300, you are getting a pistol that shoots like a full-size duty gun but disappears under a t-shirt. It is reliable, it is modular, and it is one of the best values in the entire firearms industry today. The trigger reset is exceptionally short, allowing for splits that rival much more expensive competition guns. Number 3. Smith & Wesson M&P 22 Compact. Coming in at the number 3 spot is a workhorse that has proven its mettle over years of hard use, the Smith & Wesson M&P 22 Compact. In the landscape of 2026, this pistol stands out because it was not just shrunk down from a larger model, it was ground-up engineered to be the most reliable semi-auto rimfire in its size class. Unlike many of its competitors that use a zinc alloy slide, Smith & Wesson went with an aluminum alloy slide that is both lightweight and incredibly resistant to the high cycle fatigue you see when training with thousands of rounds of high-velocity ammunition. The internal hammer-fired system is the secret sauce here. By using an internal hammer rather than a striker, the M&P 22 Compact generates a much more consistent and powerful primer strike, which is absolutely critical for the inherent finickiness of rimfire priming compounds. On the range, the 5.5-pound trigger brake is remarkably clean, mirroring the feel of the centerfire M&P Shield, making it the gold standard for cross-training. It features an ambidextrous manual safety and a reversible magazine release, ensuring that left-handed shooters are not left in the cold. I have put this specific model through an adverse conditions test, firing 500 rounds of dirty bulk pack lead without a single drop of oil, and the oversized extractor claw just kept on singing. It packs 10+1 rounds into a frame that fits the hand like a glove, and with the fixed barrel design, your mechanical accuracy is limited only by your own shooting fundamentals. This is a gun you can trust your life to when the margin for error is 0. Number 2. Ruger LCR 22 LR. Securing the silver medal at number 2 is the fortress of reliability, the Ruger LCR in 22 LR. Now, in a world dominated by high-capacity semi-autos, why does a revolver take the number 2 spot in 2026? The answer is simple: mechanical certainty. The LCR is a masterpiece of modern material science, utilizing a 3-part fire control housing made of aerospace-grade aluminum, a glass-filled polymer lower, and a high-strength stainless steel cylinder. This modular approach allowed Ruger to perfect the internal geometry, specifically their friction-reducing cam system, which produces the smoothest double-action trigger pull I have ever felt on a rimfire revolver. You are getting 8 rounds of 22 LR in that cylinder. That is 2 more than your typical snub-nose 38, and because there are no magazines to fail, no slides to rack, and no limp wristing malfunctions to worry about, it is the ultimate 6 o'clock in the morning gun. If you encounter a dud round, you do not even have to think. You just pull the trigger again to move to the next chamber. The 1/8-7-inch barrel is surprisingly capable, especially when paired with the Hogue Tamer monogrip, which soaks up what little recoil there is, allowing you to stay on target for all 8 shots in rapid succession. For 2026 carry, I recommend the models with the pinned front sight, allowing you to swap in a fiber optic or tritium bead for better low-light performance. It weighs just under 15 ounces, meaning it will not drag your pocket down, but it is built with enough ruggedness to last 3 lifetimes. When your life is on the line and you need a tool that ignores T, number 1, Smith & Wesson 43C. And here we are, the undisputed king of the hill for 2026, the ultimate pinnacle of rimfire concealed carry, the Smith & Wesson 43C. Now, let us address the elephant in the room. Why does an 8-shot revolver take the top spot over high-capacity semi-autos? In a tactical landscape where complexity often breeds failure, the 43C wins because it solves the two biggest hurdles of defensive rimfire: absolute mechanical certainty and extreme weight reduction. Weighing in at a jaw-dropping 11.5 ounces, this J-frame is constructed from a specialized airweight aluminum alloy that makes the gun feel almost non-existent in a pocket or an appendix holster. When you are carrying every single day, that weight savings is not just a luxury, it is a tactical advantage that ensures you never leave home without your protection. Let us dive into the internals. Smith & Wesson utilize an internal hammer design, which is a game changer for 22LR. Unlike striker-fired pistols that can sometimes struggle with varying rim thicknesses, the hammer-driven firing pin on the 43C delivers a massive, consistent strike every time the trigger is pulled. In the high-stress reality of 2026, if you encounter a rare dud primer, you do not need to perform a complex tap-rack flip clearing maneuver, you simply squeeze the trigger again. The cylinder rotates, a fresh round is locked into place, and the threat is addressed in a fraction of a second. On the range, the performance is nothing short of surgical. The barrel features a stainless steel insert inside an aluminum shroud, providing the perfect balance of heat dissipation for long training sessions and structural rigidity for accuracy. Because the barrel is fixed to the frame, the mechanical consistency at defensive distances 7 to 10 yards is laser-like. I have spent hundreds of hours testing this platform with modern 2026 defensive loads like the Federal Punch, and the ballistics are undeniable. You are getting deep, reliable penetration with zero risk of the cycling failures that can plague semi-autos in a close-quarters struggle. If you fire this gun from inside a jacket pocket or during a physical entanglement, there is no slide to snag and no ejection port to block. It is the most reliable, most concealable, and most intuitive life-saving tool in the rimfire world today. That wraps up our top 12 for 2026. Carrying a 22LR is no longer a compromise, it is a professional choice backed by modern ballistics and improved reliability. Whether you want the high capacity of a semi-auto or the fail-proof nature of a revolver, the best gun is the one you have on you and can shoot with surgical precision. Here is a technical takeaway for you. Rimfire ammunition has advanced further in the last 5 years than it did in the previous 50, but it still requires a clean weapon to perform at its peak. For a range drill, I want you to take your carry piece and run a failure-to-fire drill. Use a few spent casings mixed into your magazine or cylinder to simulate a dud round. Practice clearing that malfunction or cycling to the next round while moving to cover. It will build the muscle memory you need when things go sideways. Get to the range, test your defensive ammo, and stay proficient. If you found this technical breakdown useful, hit the like button and subscribe for more field-tested data. Drop a comment below and let me know which of these you trust for your daily carry. Stay sharp.